Joining us now to share his thoughts on this and some other issues in the province this week is Steve Kooner. Steve is the MLA for Richmond-Queensborough. He's also the BC Conservatives Attorney General critic. A very good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Gloria. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you. What have you heard from private property owners about this Cowichan Tribes case?
I have heard a lot of concern. I've talked to a lot of constituents of mine that live in the affected area, in the area that actually got the Indigenous title on their properties in regards to that declaration and that Cowichan decision, as well as property owners that were in the original land claimed area, but according to the decision, it didn't affect them. But now they are back in the loop because there's been an appeal filed to the Court of Appeal. So there are constituents that are affected because there's ongoing litigation, and there's constituents that are affected because there was actual decision in the Supreme Court as well. So they're very concerned. I've heard from one commercial company that they had issues with financing, and I've heard from a homeowner, and they had mentioned that they were having some sort of problems with selling their home. And so I've heard issues, and there are other homeowners that are worried about their mortgage renewals coming up. And so it is a real concern. It's something that constituents are feeling right now.
Okay.
And and they are really, there's fear. There's fear.
Okay.
And constituents have reached out to me and said that, is there any more information?
And again, I'm pointing to the fact that Richmond Council is having a little bit of a session on this next week, and they've invited residents down for that. We have spoken with Robert Morales, the chief negotiator for the Halkamenim Treaty Group, also a member of the Cowichan Tribes. He tried to reassure those homeowners when he spoke to the CBC yesterday.
Halkamenim nations have said that they do not want to displace the ordinary British Columbian who owns a home or a piece of property within the territory.
So that was Robert Morales, chief negotiator for the Halkamenim Treaty Group. When you hear that, do you still think there's cause for concern for private property owners in Richmond?
Well, what we're actually seeing in reality with people that are affected, they are seeing uncertainty affect them. And I know that you had a city councillor on your show not too long ago, and she had expressed her experiences with a number of people in the area, and there were real concerns with banks and banks being concerned about not advancing funds. And them not wanting to advance funds because of these legal proceedings. So those are real consequences. Those are real things that are happening right now. And so if you ask, say, a resident that lives in the area and they hear about the same things, it's kind of hard for them not to worry when they see practically on the ground there are active effects.
Well, your leader, John Rustad, leader of the BC Conservatives, did send an open letter to the Premier calling on the immediate suspension of negotiations and sending the case to the Supreme Court of Canada. The First Nations Leadership Council responded with a statement of their own, calling Rustad's letter alarmist rhetoric, and says that Rustad is stoking baseless fears. That was the quote. How do you respond to that?
Well, I can tell you this. I can speak for constituents that I've heard from, and everyone is worried. And I understand, this is a hard conversation to have. And it involves private property rights, but it is a conversation that needs to be had. because it has significant consequences, and there are real live concerns, right? So that if you speak, if you've probably heard the interviews as well. I believe your show has. You just mentioned you spoke to an elderly lady by the name of Anna, and so like those are actual concerns that are coming out, and that's coming from the actual people themselves.
Right. And again, I just want to underscore that the City of Richmond has scheduled a meeting with a lot of these homeowners for October 28th in Richmond. So that's a story we will continue to cover.